Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yet another edition of Football Trio. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. On me, on the set here today is Ajab and Nico. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing good.
Doing
Doing good.
good.
How are
I'm
you
doing
today?
good as well.
Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday fun day.
Happy Sunday, guys. Hope you guys actually watched the Coventry versus Manchester United in the FA Cup.
Oh yeah, I just
Oh, really? I thought it
yeah.
was Man City versus Manchester United. Was that Coventry?
Now you got jokes. Man, you scored 3 goals on Man City. Seriously?
I thought it was Manchester City. I didn't know it was Coventry City.
Well,
United got lucky though.
I
United
thought
got
Man
lucky.
City. I thought Man City played yesterday and then they decided to play again today. I didn't know it was Coventry City.
while we actually start, please, for those following, would like you to share, comment, and let's have an interactive session. We're going to be talking UEFA Champions League, the just ended quarterfinals. We're going to talk about the matchups of the semifinals. Then we're going to talk about title race, relegation battles. There's been some fines also for some teams in the EPL. But today we actually saw Everton that has been fined another 2 points, actually overcome. Who did they play against? It? Forest 2 0,
Forest.
and
Yeah.
Forest is also fighting relegation.
Yeah, Forest. Mhm.
Yeah. So are you guys actually ready for today? I know also there's been some action in with Cameroonian football, not football. I mean football with Opopo actually winning the title. So we're gonna talk about that. I know Ajap is very much in tune to have some questions for you guys. So are you guys ready to rock and roll today?
Let's go for it. Let's go. Let's go.
Because this is gonna be an interesting session. But let's start with the UEFA Champions League. I know we had some picks. I, for one, I just had one right out of four. So
I had
it was a tough session. How many did you get right, Ajab?
I got two right. I got Dortmund and PSG.
Didn't you change your Dortmund pick?
No. I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't. I didn't. Arsenal. At some, yeah, I gave it to Arsenal, but I said it was going to be tough. But
Yeah.
I had to stick to Dortmund and PSG,
Okay, what about you, Nico?
Even though PSG was a little risky.
Yeah, I don't think I got anything right. I got only Real Madrid correctly. You know, Dortmund, I didn't see that performance coming from them, and against Atletico. Last I mean the way they played that return leg game, it was quite impressive because I thought Atletico was a bogey team for real, but it looks like every year they have this hurdle that they cannot cross, right? And it speaks a lot to how Diego Simeone sets up his team. I know we'll dive into all those things, but yeah, I got only Real Madrid right. Arsenal, it was painful. It was painful.
Okay,
We'll
so
get to
yeah,
that.
let's actually get into it and let's start with Atletico Madrid. Ajab,
Yes.
Simeone. Some people might not know he's been spending lots of money with Atletico Madrid. They have spent as much money as Barcelona, if not more money than Barcelona. Do you think this is the end of the road for Diego Simeone because his team got trounced? I understand it was 2-0, they came up 2-2, but they got beaten. 4 goals against defensive minded Atletico Madrid team. Of course, I do understand that they score many goals. They are trying to change, but is this an acceptable result moving forward for a coach like Diego Simeone?
No, I don't. I don't think so. First, besides the fact that they've spent a lot of money, a lot of people, most people don't know Diego Simone is the highest paid coach in football. They don't know that he's the highest paid manager in football. So yeah, people don't know that. So yeah, he's got into a situation where I think maybe they're not maybe he himself is not motivated anymore, even though he hasn't won enough. But I don't think he's not motivated anymore, and yeah, I think it's gotten to a level where Atletico should start looking for who's going to be the successor because it's like he's not willing to step down. They too are not willing to get rid of him. So maybe when his contract runs out, they should just if his contract is running out at the end of the season, they should just say, okay, we're not going to renew it. But I think he renewed his contract last year for another 3 seasons. So it looks like he's going to be there for a while. But if you ask me, I think Atletico should change his. I think we need to try.
Okay, so what do you make about that? Same question to you, Nico.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad Ajab pointed the spotlight on the fact that Diego Simeone is one of the highest paid coaches. I think ESPN did something, they did like 11 highest paid coaches in the world. And I was shocked that Diego Simeone actually makes the type of money he makes. Um, and for so little, I don't even think he has won a La Liga title yet, has he?
Oh
I mean,
yes,
in his
yes.
career, he
Yes,
won once.
twice, twice,
Twice?
twice.
Okay, twice. Okay.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking to myself, this guy, at some point, he was heralded as one of the best, because of the way he would tactically set up his team and they would play defensively, but they could hit you on the counter and they could take you apart when they really were on a good day. Unfortunately, that has not been happening lately. He's fast becoming to me like a Mourinho type coach right now who is struggling to catch up with modern football and the new ways people are playing. But I don't know, who does Atletico really attract? Who else is out there that Atletico can really call on to come coach them? So it's possible that he might be at Atletico for some time, for maybe another few seasons, 3, 4, 5 seasons even. Who knows? It's a marriage made in heaven, I guess, and they deserve each other. I just feel like, for as much money as he makes, and for how much money he has spent in the transfers, I expected a little bit better. I expected a little bit more. Yes, given that he has players who are like at the tail end of their careers, really coming back, making in football and things like that, it's really not an excuse. It's really not an excuse. I expect more from Atletico. I expect more
Yeah, just to give you perspective, right? He's making about 30 million,
a year.
34 million euros
Yes,
Yeah,
a
he's
year.
the highest paid. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
So he's
30
actually
million a year.
so he's actually the highest paid, and we should not forget that players like Joao Felix, yeah, he has a Griezmann, so there he has some actually bought some good players. Morata also, yes, Morata is up and down, but there are some very talented players in that team. And as I said, this year Diego Simeone is not really too much of a defensive coach. He actually tries to play some attractive football, and maybe that's the reason why we see so much inconsistency because he's a defensive minded coach. I just think that he's at a level, at a position right now that they have to come to a mutual agreement because Diego Simeone is the longest serving coach,
Mhm.
the longest serving coach for Atletico Madrid, and he's a legend already, having won 2 La Liga titles ahead of teams
And
like Barcelona and Real
and
Madrid.
then I think he's won 2 Europa Leagues too, or something like that, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So
So
it's not easy. We have seen Atletico Madrid struggle before, but
Yeah,
Diego Simeone has actually turned around the fortunes of that team. And I think 10 years ago, that's when they built their new stadium. So they're in a new stadium. They have the money, they have the finances. So some people might think that this is not no. Atletico Madrid is actually a big team.
It is. It is. And the idea behind that stadium, like you said, was they wanted to compete with the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Although Barcelona, Real Madrid have some taking their stadium now to a different
Another
level.
level. Exactly.
I think Barcelona is also taking their stadium to a different level.
There
So
you
the competition is a very, very healthy one. Okay, now what do you make about the play of Borussia Dortmund? Because what I liked about Borussia Dortmund is that they actually believed in this in themselves, and they should have even tied that game in Atletico Madrid, haven't it been for self-inflicted errors. But we saw how they came out and attacked Atletico Madrid. It was 2-0. Atletico Madrid equalized, and they went to win 4-2. Now, what do you make about their play, and how did Borussia Dortmund actually overcome? Let's start with you, Nico.
I think Dortmund actually did what they had to do. It was, like I said, it was a surprise for me to see that Dortmund actually came with this game plan. They allowed Madrid to kind of impose their game. I mean, the game ended, what was it, 4-2? And you sit back and you're wondering to yourself, Atletico started off the game pretty well, even though Dortmund scored, right? Dortmund was first to hit two goals up. They were leading, and you're thinking, okay, what's the plan? What's the plan? And Atletico gets the goal, which was the own goal, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, this is it. This is it. Something. This is a sign. Something is coming alive. And even in that game, when you look at it, Atletico really played. They didn't have a lot of changes right up to like the second half when like no the beginning of the second half they made like a bunch of changes, right? And that's when the goal came, and I was thinking to myself, okay, there's a plan, there's definitely a plan. But somehow Dortmund just controlled the game, controlled the pace of the game, momentum of the game, possession, everything. It was just so right for Dortmund. And well, maybe because they were playing at home and they had the 12 man, right? But I just felt like Atletico really didn't come to Germany with a lot of answers for how Dortmund plays. You would think that, in a situation like this, when you show up, you're the opponent, you show up to play against Dortmund in Dortmund. You're thinking to yourself, how do we set up? How do we counter their? How do we stop their fast paced wingers? How do we stop these guys from trying to bring the game to us? How do we do that? And when you're looking at it on paper, Atletico Madrid actually has those tools, right? Because they have this defensive way of playing that allows them to control and like choke you in the middle of the pack and defend very well. But that just didn't happen. Four goals, four goals. They took four goals. And it's not like they're fluke goals. They were really good goals, really good Dortmund goals where Dortmund carved them open and put the ball in the net, you know. One set piece. That's it. Everything was open play goals. And so I don't know. I just think Atletico didn't go with a plan. They didn't go for the party. They just didn't come with the right tools to answer the questions from Dortmund.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, Ajab, when you see the way Atletico Madrid actually came out, they came out with three at the back. They had five in the midfield, two up front. You know that's a defensive structure.
Set up, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know it's gonna turn maybe five at the back and stuff like that. You
Yeah.
saw that early miss. I know you've been talking a lot about Brandt, right? But there was an early miss by
Mora,
Sabitzer.
Mora,
Morata.
oh,
No,
Sabitzer
no,
first
Sabitzer.
before
Dortmund. Yeah.
Sabitzer missed first before
yeah,
Morata missed. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Morata.
There was an early miss by Sabitzer. When I saw that miss, I was like, maybe Dortmund is gonna have this. I mean, a thorough afternoon or
Yeah,
evening.
yeah.
You
Yes.
know, I mean, what did you make of that? Because yes, there was that miss. Then on the other end, Morata also
Mhm.
he went for the chip, and his chip was actually wide. But we've seen that with Morata. So for me, that was not surprising with Morata. But what did you make of that miss and the way Sapitza came back and scored one of the most important goals, which was the third goal? No, the fourth goal
The
that
fourth
actually
goal.
He
sealed
scored twice
sealed the
that
thing.
day, no? He scored
No,
twice.
once,
No,
once.
no, it scored
It
once.
was it was Brandt, Madsen, then Fulkrug, and
Okay, and then
Yeah.
Sabitzer. That's right. He's the
Sabitzer.
one who like
Yeah.
really put that nail in
Then
the
he
coffin.
had he had another miss later on, a good, yeah, another
Mhm.
miss that was saved by Obiak. Yeah,
Yeah.
before I go into that, I just wanted to say something. There's something about Dortmund. If they ask you to name one star in the Dortmund team, you have to think.
Yeah.
to have like 11 or 16 players who are almost at the same level. So I think that's already a good thing for them. They don't have that player you could say, okay, the player to watch out. Even if they have that, it's not like an actual player to watch out for. They have almost the entire team is at the same level. They don't have those superstars that you can say if this guy is out of the game, it's going to choke them out, it's going to choke them or things like that. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. The second thing is that Dortmund came into the game because if you watched the first half of the away game against Atletico Madrid, after Atletico Madrid went 2 goals up, I was like, oh, this game could end 4-0 or 4-1 or 3-1 or something. They were able to keep that 2 goals until they scored one. So they came into Germany, and you have to know, Iduna Park, the Dortmund pitch, they have the noisiest fans in the world.
Oh
They
yeah.
don't look. They have the noisiest fans in the world. So they have the actual 12th man, even though people say Enfield. Iduna Park, it's another level when it comes to noisy fans. So when they approached the game with the right mentality. Even after they missed from Sabitzer, sometimes you can say, oh, we missed this chance. It might not be good for us. But they kept on attacking and they made use of their wings. Matson and Ryerson. Matson and Ryerson were playing inverted fullbacks, opening always every time they had the balls, they were there to get to collect the balls. Sancho and the other guy, they were getting inside the pitch, giving room for the right and left back to contribute in the game of in the offensive phase of the game. So I think Dortmund they just had everything right, and Atletico Madrid panicked a little bit in the first half. If they approached the beginning of the second half the way they approached the first half, they would have made it through it this time. But they came in with that a little bit of a defensive mindset. When Dortmund started the game at offense, they sat back a little bit. I wanted to hit them on the counter. I
Mhm.
think that's where they failed. They would have just gone to say, let's play our game. Let's not focus on counter. Let's just try to play and play safe, but no focus on the counter. But they decided to focus on the counter. I think that's where they messed up a little bit, and then Dortmund took over the game.
Okay, thank you for that. Now let's switch over to Barcelona against.
Before you go, I just want to make a quick comment. Something I noticed: United players who have gone back to Dortmund and are doing an amazing job, right? Sancho, Jadon Sancho had an amazing game. Sabitzer, we've talked about Sabitzer. So all these United players who came to the Premier League and struggled are back in Germany and having a good time in Dortmund. So it speaks volumes.
That's you being disrespectful of Dortmund because we are talking Champions League and you're taking us into a
No,
team.
no, no, I just want
I
I
mean,
just
we are just being disrespectful of Dortmund. We're not talking about teams that are not in the Champions League
in the
right now.
Champions League.
Yeah, exactly.
No, because I
and
was I had a vested interest in knowing how
and
Jadon
and
Sancho will end up
and teams that may not be in the Champions League
in
for
the
a while.
Champions League for a while.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
that's being disrespectful of the teams that are in the Champions League. so, so now let's go ahead and talk about the game Barcelona versus PSG.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
A lot of people are talking about Mbappe. I know he scored 2 goals, but what do you make of the play or the games of Dembele, Vitania, and Bakola? For me, those are the players that actually, especially Bakola, when he came up in the first game in the second half, when he came in the second half, his pace was actually troubling, and he's the one that actually gave that red card
mm-hmm.
to Arau.
At
What
all.
just make of their play and how influential was a player like Dembele on both legs? Yeah, you can start.
Yeah, Dembele had it. I don't know. Dembele scored his first goal for the year 2024 against Barcelona, the game in Paris. That was the first goal he was scoring for the calendar year 2024. I don't know if he waited for Barca to say okay, because that Barca as a team, Dembele never had the chance to play 15 straight games for Barcelona for the entire time he spent at Barca. He was always injured, and then he decided to be healthy this time around, and that always happens. It always happens. Each time there's a competition, each time we're coming close to a competition, Dembele picks his form. As soon as this competition is over, he gets back to his injured self. If you notice, every tournament France participates, Dembele is always a starter for the team because he's always at the best of his game before the tournament. World Cup 2018, Euro 2022, Europe 2020, World Cup 2022, and now Euro 2024. He's proving himself again that he's gonna be part of Deschamps' plan. So yeah, Dembele, good game, both ties he played well. But if you ask me, I think if you ask me, some people may say no, but I think Araujo was a little inexperienced. You were leading the tie 3-1. If you let that kid go score, it will be 3-2, and you guys play 11-11.
Yeah, I mean
You
that's
guys will
what.
play.
Yeah, I totally agree
And
with you
you
because
give your keeper a chance to save because you don't
No,
know if he's
even
gonna
if
score.
even if the keeper doesn't save, even if they score, it's gonna be
Hmm.
3-2. The tie is gonna be 3-2. You guys now manage see how you can manage the game.
Yeah,
Because that red card, whether we like it or not, it killed the
cost
plan.
them.
yeah, and that's one.
Xavi, it was early. Xavi had to make changes. He didn't know if he was to change Lewandowski or Pedri. He had to go for Yamal. But if I were him, I wouldn't change Yamal because Yamal was pacey and
Oh,
active,
yeah,
or someone who could like maybe help them if they have to hit on the counter or something like that. So I thought he made the wrong choice. But in
so
terms
who
of
would you have
Barcelona,
taken out though?
in
Who would
terms
you
of
have
the
taken out?
PSG side of it, PSG Vitinha too has been really good lately for PSG.
Hmm. Oh, I think we lost a job.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's what Ajab actually said. That's the same thing that I said. I said that Arau actually made, and that's why he had that problem with Gundogan because
Yeah,
Gundogan came out and criticized him directly. I mean, but I must also say this: it was soft.
it,
It was just
no,
a hand on the shoulder, and
no,
the guy
Yeah,
went
it
down.
was a little it was a
no,
little soft. It was a
It
little
was
soft.
soft.
Yeah.
no.
It was just a
As
hand
a
on
ref,
the shoulder.
as a ref, I'm
He
sorry.
didn't
I'm
pull him.
always
He didn't
calling
pull
that.
him.
As a ref, I'm always calling that. He's running. Look at okay. So before that contact, look at the distance between Araujo and what's his name? When he was running in the guy from uh PSG.
Bakola.
Barcola, the distance between them from the time that ball was lost and the time that the Arau caught up, you know there's no way Arau is going to let him go at that point. If Arau was just going there to defend cleanly, he would have let him continue his run, but just run alongside him. But because he cut him off, you know there's only one thing on his mind. He's going to put him down.
No,
He is
no, no. He was looking for a shoulder to shoulder. He
no,
didn't get it.
you don't
He
do
was,
that when you're the last defender. You
oh,
don't do that.
no, of course you challenge. You look for a shoulder to
Nah,
shoulder.
nah. When
His
you're 3-1
hand
up,
when he
you
put his
don't do
hand
that.
on the shoulder and the guy went down. It's soft. It was a
So
soft.
as a ref, we are trained to call those because you take into account the intent and the position of the play, where the chase started. You take into account all those things. So I will call it every day of the week. I will call it and
No,
wait
I'm
for
not saying that. I'm not saying that
the
the ref shouldn't have called it.
mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is it's a soft call.
Soft penalty.
Yeah,
Nah, I think
the guy,
the
the
rules
guy,
of the game.
it's a soft call.
Okay.
It's a soft call.
All right, all right. I'll just concede, but if I have the whistle in there, I'm calling it, and
Oh
it's a
yeah,
little
the ref called
quicker.
it. No one blames the ref for calling it, but it's a soft
Hmm.
call. No
All
one
right.
blames the ref for calling it, but it's a soft call. But Araujo, as Gundogan went and criticized him, and now he's become an issue. I don't know if Gundogan should have criticized him, but I guess he's a repeat offender.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah.
some amount of frustration,
You
from Gundogan
know,
telling the guy that, oh, you have been playing, you should be wiser because he's
yeah.
22, right? He's
Yeah,
22,
he's
23.
and he
So
has
he
he
should be
he
wiser.
he has that thing about him. He has a Xhaka like personality about him. Araujo is the guy who tackled I think Jesus in the US here in the preseason tour, and Jesus was almost stretchered off. But I think no, Jesus got up and continued the game, but it caused a lot of rancor, and the players like there was a coming together. They were like at each other's faces because of how hard he went in with his tackle. So he's trying to gain that profile of oh I'm a tough defender, but I think he just does it. He just overdoes it in a way that is cost his team right now. Because for all the talk I talked about PSG being a one man team and all that, I take it all back because PSG played an amazing game against Barcelona. And why did that happen? I feel that because of the numerical advantage, right? If they were 11v11, that game would never have turned out the way it did. Never. And for a defender who's been playing for so long, even though he's 22 years old, he's been playing for a long time. You expect better. You expect more. So I can't fault Gondogan for calling him out on it. And before Gondogan goes public, he probably tried to do it in the dressing room and the guy didn't listen, right? Because of the attitude of young players these days. I'm not generalizing, but I'm
No,
just
no, no. I don't
it's
think. I don't.
possible. So we never know. But I'm just saying this Arao guy is starting to get a reputation of this, and that's why I think the ref was so quick to go straight to his chest pocket for the red card.
No, no, no. The ref was even criticized. The ref is from Romania. The ref is has some scandals back in Romania.
Mm.
Raul said he would not comment on what Gondogan said. Gondogan said it immediately after the game. So
Exactly.
it's not something Gondogan could have said. Gondogan could have waited and said it maybe after, but I guess it's out of frustration.
Emotions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, of course, it's out of frustration, and I don't see a Raul like that type of a kid that's disrespectful, but he likes to play. He plays with his heart on his sleeves. He likes to go out there and leave everything on
Yeah,
the field.
Hard
So
tackler.
yeah,
definitely, yeah.
Very hard
yeah,
tackler. Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, he's from Uruguay,
He
and
he plays like Vidic. He plays like Vidic. The way
yeah,
Vidic used to play for United.
Very
Yeah,
hard tackler. Yeah.
exactly. He's a tough nosed defender. Now let's go ahead and talk about their other games.
Hmm.
Manchester City against
Madrid.
Real Madrid. What do you guys think about that game? Because that game we saw Real Madrid came out and defend. We saw a big miss by De
De Bruyne,
Bruyne.
De
De
Bruyne.
Bruyne.
Yes, we also saw Haaland had another tough games. No supplies. All the supply chains actually cut off. What do you guys actually make about that game?
Wow, I was impressed with. Sometimes they say defending. You say, Masada people they're not playing on us, and they just can't defend. The players you have also helps you defend. Having Kamavinga, Valverde, Cruz, and Bellingham put up that kind of a defensive show. People who love to play the ball put up that kind of a defensive show. I was very impressed. I knew City was going to dominate possession, but I didn't know Madrid was going to defend that much. And people who love playing with the ball, defending that much is very difficult. And that touch from Bellingham before to set up that Madrid goal is another level.
Yeah.
Wow. When it happened first, I thought it was an error. I thought it was a mistake. Then I watched it. No, man, that kid is good. He doesn't play football like an English guy. Yeah, he doesn't play football like an English
Very
guy. But
correct.
what I was trying to say is that, like you said, you mentioned something already, Tru3lion, which I think it sums it all. Cutting the supply chain. That's what Madrid succeeded in doing.
Yep.
Not only limiting the supply to Haaland, but also limiting it to the wingers. If you notice, the first 20 minutes, Foden had one touch of the ball. First 20 minutes, Foden had one touch of the ball. They were comfortable allowing Grealish and even Rodri or else, but they didn't allow Rodri to be able to keep and pass the ball to Foden. So they succeeded in that until Foden shifted into the midfield, and then Bernardo Silva went to the wing, and then he started getting some touches. But still, they didn't give him that time to turn, and because they know what he could do when you give him the chance to turn and then make his and then make the decision. So they were really Madrid was really good the way they defended. It's like they came into the game knowing, yeah, we're playing City, we're playing them, and we're playing away. They're going to dominate. Let's not try to dominate them. Let's just try to see how we can concede. Because sometimes you dominate possession and you also miss goals. City dominated possession, but they didn't have that real chances except that one from Kevin De Bruyne. Haaland had the one with the head, but you wouldn't really call it a creative opportunity. It was like a cross and then the head. But the one from De Bruyne was the one that was the only opportunity I think they really had that Madrid allowed them to do it. And then another thing I noticed, Real Madrid is like they don't have depth in the squad. They don't have a good bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you see the players that came in, it's you could see that they don't really have a good bench. Yeah, besides Modric coming in for Cruz, the Moroccan kid, what's his name again? Brahim Diaz
Brahim
was
Diaz.
shaky. Yeah, and then you see Lucas Vasquez too coming in, and then yeah, it wasn't really. But at least Militao is back, so he will be a good partnership for Rudiger for the next stage of the competition. So I think that's all I have to say.
Okay, let me ask you this. Thank you very much. Let me ask you this, Nico. The
Mhm.
way Real Madrid played, and a lot of people making that noise, do you think Real Madrid is actually? I understand, you go to penalties, you win, you won the game, but you think it's a deserved win by Real Madrid, given the type of players that they do have and the caliber of a coach
See,
like Ancelotti. I mean, the type of football for a fan, for a neutral, was it attractive football to you?
the truth of the matter is they're not playing to please any fans. the goal of this thing is to win, right? Just like when Arsenal played against Madrid and defended, and Arsenal was called out for parking the bus and all that. No, 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 no. Nobody wants to lose. It's a Champions League. The point is, you come there with your plan, you set up the way you've practiced it ahead of time, right? And you defend, hoping and trusting that your attackers and midfielders can manufacture something and create those chances. Yes, Madrid had a tough time because after they scored first. So you're thinking to yourself, this is going to be a good game because now it's going to, City is going to come at them and just pummel them with everything they have. And it was very telling because around the 70th minute, if you asked any of the Madrid players at that time what they wanted, they would have told you they wanted the ref to end the game, right? Because City came at them with everything they had, and that's how they were so pinned back, and they just had to defend for their lives. And I think when you look at it, the way the KDB's goal came, you could tell it was tired legs partly, and the fact that of course Man City is brilliant. Kyle Walker coming back from injury, played a whole 120 minutes. Amazing guy. He played like he's never been out injured, or he was just not coming off injury list because he played a very good game. For we talk about Vinicius and all these guys. Rodrigo had an amazing game in the first half. Second half, he had to defend. Vinicius, same thing. For the first time in my life, I watched Madrid, and Vinicius spent half the time in his own box, in his own half of the field versus attacking. So it tells you they came with a plan. And I think they probably took a page out of Arteta's coaching book, or Arteta and Ancelotti talked about it the night before on how to defend against City, and they took, like you said, supply lines out of the equation. No service to Foden. I don't know why Pep left him on the field throughout. Like, at least make a sub. See if if you change a formation and somebody can come in and change some things. But it is what it is. I just feel like City had the right concept. They always do because they come to play. They don't come to park the bus or any antics like that. But Madrid came with the right tactics and they got the result, the desired result. It ended in penalties, yes. And sometimes you think once it goes to penalties, it's a 50-50 call at that point, right? So you really don't have much to worry about. I just think people shouldn't focus too much on the fact that the game wasn't a beautiful one to watch, especially the neutrals. The whole thing is, let's focus on the fact that these guys are doing a job. They come there with a plan. They want to win, and they're not there to just entertain us blindly. Because you could go out there to entertain and get taken apart. Because City is not a small team. City is not a team you can play around with for entertainment purposes. City will take you apart if you give them the chance. So if you want to entertain, and pass the ball and knock it around, City will take you apart. So Ancelotti came with the right tactics. That's just how I view it.
Okay, thank you for that. I've said this before. When Foden actually plays at the wings, he's not that effective. And
Yes.
playing Foden at the wing for me, of course, meant that he wasn't going to be effective. Not also giving the ball to your goal getter, Haaland, or finding ways of being creative to feed him is also a problem. And Manchester City on the penalty kicks, Bernardo Silva was actually, I mean, what he did, I understand that the fan, I don't know why a Manchester City fan will hold the ball for 1 minute, 2 minutes before sending it back in the field when he knows that tension and mindset. If a player waits longer to take his penalty, maybe it gets to him. So I'm not sure what that fan was doing with the ball for that long, but that might have maybe affected the way Bernardo Silva came and kicked his penalty. And penalties, the goalkeeper of Real Madrid was actually better. So I think that's actually the one why they actually won that game. Now let's move to the last game: Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. What did you make of that game, Ajab?
I think you're muted, Ajab.
Yeah, sometimes it's like they say some coaches are good at cup games. Arsenal, because that's the problem. I don't think I cannot blame Arsenal for that game that much because I think Tuchel also had a good setup. If you watch Eric Dyer and the other kid, the Dutch kid, what's his name? Delict. Is it Delict?
Yes, the
Uh,
defender. No? Yes.
Yeah, they had a very good game defensively. And
yes.
this guy played a low block. He played a low block game, knowing that he has some guys up front who know how to keep the ball. So that's the way Tuchel he approached the game similarly to how he similarly to how he played when he was coach for Chelsea. Just that he didn't play with three at the back. He played a normal 4-5-1. But it's like he told Musiala that this game you're not gonna get that much of the ball, but I'm
Mhm.
also I don't want you to defend. Yeah, don't sit deep, but you're not gonna get that much of the ball. Just go ahead and play the game. And Arsenal was not Arsenal. I don't know if I would say I wouldn't say they were not clinical. They were not creative at all. Maybe it's because of the way Bayern set up the game, but Arsenal were not creative. When you playing games like that, let me say if I had the chance to set up a game or talk to the players, I'll tell them I'd rather you lose this game 3-0 than losing it 1-0. Go all on the attack. You understand? Go all on the attack. Or rather you lose this game 3-0 than lose it 1-0. Don't be so cautious. I know you guys had a 2-2 tie back home, especially when Bayern scored around 62 minutes. You have 20 or 30 minutes more to play. Go out and play the ball. Because Bayern scored and then Bayern after Bayern scored the game, Bayern took control of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bayern took control of the game. I was expecting Arsenal to take over the game, but Bayern took control of the game. So that's how I look at the game. I just thought Tuchel had his game plan set up properly, having his low block set up with players who are good with the ball, and then everything worked out well for him. And Arsenal, they were not creative enough to put some panic in the back line because Eric Dier, you remember, he was is it fourth or fifth choice centre back for Tottenham before signing for Bayern, and that's him now being a starter. That's him being a starter now for Bayern with players like Upamecano and Kim on the bench. So that's all I have to say.
Well, yeah, sorry about that. Well, Nico, in games where Arsenal has maybe 3 games in a week, I see Arsenal struggle. Do you think it's getting to them? I mean, they are one of the youngest teams. They don't have this level of Champions League experience because when you watch the game, apart from the mistake Martinelli made, letting his man run and score that goal, I mean, it was an evil game, even game. You could see that Arsenal is a solid team and that they are a good team. But again, sometimes when you play such games, and that's why I said if Arsenal doesn't carry an advantage to Bayern, they will most probably be kicked out. I mean, what do you make about this? Why is the reason? Or what can you put your fingers on and say this is the reason why Arsenal lost?
I think naivety. I hate to use that term, but yeah, it's true. Even from the coach, the strategy was wrong from the start. Um, clearly, some things didn't work out. At halftime, you should be able to make those changes. You should be brave enough to make those changes. Um, it's a do or die game, and somehow when you are watching the Arsenal bench in a situation like this and you see the coach pacing up and down with his hands on his lips and he's doing this, you're wondering to yourself if he's trying to figure out a plan or he's just nervous that what he's doing is not going to work out or he has already seen the writing on the wall. In this game, Martinelli had a horrible game. For him to have come out in the second half baffles me. Mourinho would have probably pulled Martinelli off in the 30th minute. We've seen it. We've seen coaches do it.
What Mourinho are you talking about?
No, we've seen coaches do it. Mourinho would have probably pulled. I'm just saying, Mourinho, Van Gaal, or some other coach would have probably pulled Martinelli off the field after 30 minutes. But that's not what happened here. They went out on a break, halftime, whatever the coach says to him, and he's back on the field again for another what, 30, 20 minutes
Let me
before.
ask you a question. Pull
Yeah.
Martinelli off and bring in who?
You can bring in Trossard. You can bring in. The thing is, it doesn't have to be it, and that's the problem with Arsenal, right? And I think that's the one big issue that everybody calls out about Arteta: man management, man management. Because Arteta is an amazing coach. He's a student of Pep. Great, but certain times you have to make some calls, and sometimes your favorites cannot be. Who knows? You make a sub like Jurgen Klopp does, throw in Jogo Jota, and Jota changes the game for you. Why not go to the bench? You have Reece Nielsen sitting on the bench. You've given him a new contract. Eddie Nketiah, bring him on. Why did you give them new contracts? Emil Smith Rowe, why did you give them new contracts? These are guys who wanted to leave in the summer. You made them stay. And in a game like this, we're not it's not working, and you keep them on the bench. And then in the last minute, that's when you want to throw in Eddie Nketiah to do what with 2 minutes left on the time. When at 60 minutes we knew that Martinelli was not pulling his weight, it was not happening, and that's why look. And if you go back to that game, you just Arsenal got lucky that Tomiyasu was the one playing cover for Martinelli, because if it was Kivior from the first leg, or say Zinchenko, man, Sane would have had an amazing game down that line again, and they would have scored so many more goals, you know. But because Tomiyasu was there, he locked it down a little bit. It made it harder for Leroy Sané to have joy down that right side, but down that our left side, but their right side. But think about it. It's just Arsenal's issues, like you said, get compounded when we have to play 3, 4 games straight in a week, 3 games or 4 games in 10 days. Let me put it that way, because somehow the coach has a tough time recycling players. He doesn't know how to recycle players. And then when you come in with a plan, it's not working. Change up, change up. You have to be brave in these situations. And I think the moment got the best of Arteta in this one, because the
Well,
emotions, fear of okay, we are in this situation. We've not been in this situation for the past 7 years or 7 seasons. Um, what do we do? If we make a wrong step, people will say, or people will see it this way. And I think that's what kind of stopped him from doing certain things or making certain changes that he needed to make. Because in this game, everybody could see Martinelli didn't have a good game. Saka wasn't having a good game. Jorginho was being overrun in that midfield. I mean, Goreska and Lima just had an amazing time playing around Jorginho while keep Partey on the bench. He's healthy. We know that he gives the team a little bit of confidence. Then you want to make changes. You move Declan Rice back to the CDM position, and you still have Havertz in there. And I mean, come on, man, come on. Sometimes you have to be brave, but
yeah,
I
but
think it comes down to for Arsenal.
well,
Um,
I actually don't look at it the way you look at it. I think Arsenal played a good game, although they lost. It was a very competitive game. The game was balanced. There's no player on the bench that I could see that would come in and make a big difference, as you claim. All those Reece Nelson and all that, they don't have experience. They are
but
young.
that's the thing.
They
That's
are
the
young.
thing.
Yeah,
You
they are
you
young.
you
They don't
you,
have
you if you
experience.
if you
Then
have them on the bench, if you have them on the bench and you took them to Germany, it means you should be able to use them,
no, not
right?
all the time. I will see,
It's
not
five
not
subs.
every
Okay,
sub.
so what happens if we go to Germany and there's an injury? There's 2 injuries.
So what
You will
happens?
say you don't have the bench to
What
replace those
happens if
people.
we go to Germany and there's an injury? There's two
Wait,
injuries.
somebody's
You
audio
say you
came
don't
on.
have the
So
bench to
those are the
replace
things
those
that
people.
I say, man management, and it's something that everybody calls out on Arteta a lot. Even in this game,
No, hold on. When you say man management, that's not man management. What are you talking
it
about?
is, it is. Give
No,
people
man
minutes,
management is talk when you
recycle
talk.
them. Ben White played how many minutes against Aston Villa the 2 days,
Oh,
three
you
days
talking
before
about
the game?
time management. You talk about time
Yes,
management of players, not
yes.
man management, because those
Yeah,
are two
well,
different things.
it's still the same thing to me, because you have to give each player time. Because look, the thing is,
Ajab,
and I think
Ajab,
he's gonna
Ajab.
eventually learn.
Hold on,
But
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Ajab. We just know that's a Saul fan, right? A Saul fan. He's gonna complain about everything. He said Saka didn't have a good game. Martinelli didn't have a good game. He called about three players that didn't have a
yeah,
good game.
Jorginho,
Of course,
Jorginho.
of course. So you want Arteta to? Why did they not have a good game? Is it because they played poorly, or is it because Bayern was playing at home and Brian was a good team that night?
Bayern was a good team. Oh no, no, no! Don't take anything away from Tuchel. Tuchel, I mean, his pedigree is unquestionable. He's a very good coach. He set up his team in a very, very good way. And they had the answers, right? They
Okay.
had the answers to Arsenal's tactics and everything that we set up. But we knew Tuchel was going to do this, because we were going to be playing at the Allianz Arena. We knew that when you're going there, it's almost like when you're coming to the Etihad to play against Pep. You know Pep is going to set up and play a certain way, right? So you
Not
need to have
necessarily tactics. Tactics. You might say that you knew, but the details. When we go in deep into the details, there are little things that
That's where it falls
that
apart.
gets done. Then there's also that the play, how the players will actually play on the pitch. That's actually different. Look at the way Bayern Munich scored a goal. It was not an obvious goal. It was not because Arsenal was defending badly. It was just a brilliant moment, and it was a very
Nah,
very
I
competitive
was
game as well.
inattention from the
Anyway, let's
defenders.
move away from that. I know you very very salty about that game
We'll talk
because
about Arsenal all day, but yeah, go
your
ahead.
team lost. But let's move out actually to the EPL because we ain't gonna entertain that. Let's actually start with Liverpool against Fulham. Liverpool against Fulham today. Fulham played a very good game in the first half, but Liverpool was able to overwhelm them in the second half. Did you watch that game, Ajab? And if you did, what did Liverpool actually do differently in the second half in order to
Uh,
win that game comfortably?
I only watched part of the game. I only watched like the first 20 minutes of the game, and then I decided to watch to go back to concentrate on the FA Cup game. Like I said, I thought Man United was playing against Man City. I didn't know it was Coventry City.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
okay, yeah. And did you watch the game? Let's go to
Yes, yes, I
Nico.
did.
Did you watch
Yes, I
what?
did.
What did Liverpool do in the second half that was different from what they did in the
I
first
think
half?
I think Liverpool. I mean, Fulham. Let's talk about. I want to talk about Fulham because I think Fulham actually came with the right plan. They were playing at home. Yes, we know that Craven Cottage is not an easy place to go and play, but Fulham had the right ideas, and at some point during the game, I mean, I would say after the first half, you could tell um, when Alexander Arnold scored his goal, it was almost like the goal came against the run of play, right? Because for large parts of the game. Uh, uh, Around after Alexander Arnold scored, Fulham literally took hold of the game. They pressed. They worked really hard. And for just those little mistakes that we keep talking about, and it really irks when you see that it's a João Paulinha, 13 yellow cards in a season, man. Like you can't be that reckless when you're a CDM and your team depends on you so much. You can't be that reckless. And look at the tackle. Like he started sliding almost 10 yards, or was it 6 yards before he got to the player. Like, how do you play like that? You're a player. You have responsibilities to defend or block off people in front of your last line of defense before the keeper, right? So be a little bit smart. Use your brain sometimes when you're defending. João Paulinha is an amazing player, but the type of fouls he gives away, those 13 yellow cards, man. Come on. The next thing I want to talk about is the fact that Liverpool actually rotated their team. Jurgen Klopp played a very smart thing. He started Jota in the up front. Gravenberch came in. Cody Gakpo came in. So it was a very well rotated team, but Liverpool still had the goods. After the free kick, I really thought that Fulham woke up. Fulham came. They had the response at that point. Costagna got the goal, and then somehow in the second half, Gravenberg got that chance where he literally beat the crap out of that ball when he shot. He took a shot, he whipped it in. It was such a beautiful shot. Hit the bar, hit the post, and went in. So that and of course Jota got his goal. Every time Jota plays, he gets his goal. I don't know exactly how to characterize that, but it just makes me smile each time I see him do that. And so yeah, that was a Liverpool source, and it's all Jurgen Klopp and his tactics, and it worked. No, because I've wanted Jota to come to our team for a long time, bro. Like,
okay, okay.
he's a very good player. Like
Is he,
if you watch, and if I think somebody is gonna probably do this someday, and I really I think if nobody has done it, I will go search and try to do it. Diogo Jota scores every time he comes off the bench or he starts the game, and it's always like a 3-1 goal. He always scores that third goal when it's three to go for it to go to 3-1. And at least for all the games I've watched him. And it's like this guy, I don't know why he's not spoken about as much, but he's a really, really good player. Really good
yeah,
player.
I like him. He's a lethal guy, man.
Yeah,
He does the
very
essentials.
effective.
Yeah.
Very effective.
I think Fulham actually played a good game. and Liverpool won because they had more. They were more assertive. That first goal by what's his name,
Arnold,
Trent
Arnold Alexander,
Alexander-Arnold.
yeah. The free kick.
I mean, that was a great goal. Then
Yeah.
Fulham actually came back, equalized, good goal because there was pressure on Liverpool. But then Gravenberg scored that also beautiful goal. I mean, all the goals were actually good. I think it was a good game, despite that Fulham actually lost. They played a good game. I was impressed by the Nigerian defender Basi. He's very, very comfortable on the ball. He actually makes good decisions. Although the other Nigerian guy, what's his name again? Iwobi,
Ara- uh,
Iwobi, his
Wobby.
giveaway. His giveaway was what led into the second goal by by Liverpool that
Yes.
Gravenberch scored. But I think
Mhm.
Liverpool understood that this game they couldn't drop points, and they
Oh
came with
yeah.
the right energy and coming after two successive losses. I mean, yes, they won actually. They won in Europa, but they were knocked out, so they had to show up, and Liverpool actually showed up. Let's move over to Arsenal. Arsenal played a very difficult game yesterday against who did they beat 2-0 again?
Wolves away at
Wolves.
Wolves.
Yes, because Wolves have lost three games recently, right? Three successive games recently, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken. But Wolves have been playing some good football, and I know that
They're very
playing
good.
away at Wolves will be a problem. But the way Arsenal actually went and played that game, I mean, what do you guys think about the game?
Ajab, go.
yeah, Arsenal. I watched the game. I think it started like in about 35 seconds. Havertz had a miss,
Yes.
and
Clear.
then they played again, and then they played again, and then Wolves they were pretty much comfortable, especially in the middle of the park. They were comfortable with the ball. The Traore guy and the Brazilian guy, I forgot his name. They were good. The guy who even hit the goalpost in the first half for
Gomez.
Wolves,
Was it Gomez?
Gomez.
Gomez.
Yeah, the guys they were pretty much comfortable. And then I didn't watch the second half. When Trossard scored that goal at the last minutes of the first half with the
First half.
fake assist from Gabriel Jesus. And then I left. I didn't watch the second half, and then I noticed that Odegaard scored at the last minute of the second half.
Yeah.
So, but I knew Arsenal was going to win, but I knew it was going to be a tough game
Tough game.
because Wolves is a tricky game. It's a tricky team when you play against them.
Very.
They're very tricky. Yeah, you don't know what to expect from them if they're going to defend or they're going to attack. They just flat. They're just in between. Yeah.
Okay, Nico, what do you make about that game?
I think Wolves is one of those teams. I don't want to say bogey teams, but it's one of those teams that can catch you on a good day and take care of you. Like really, really do some damage. Right? Spurs have lost going to the Molineux. That's how they call their stadium, right? Molineux Stadium. Yeah. Spurs have lost there. City has lost there. Even Chelsea have lost there. So I don't know if Chelsea is still a top 16. But anyways, so it's not easy. It's not easy to go there and win. These guys have, I mean, Gary O'Neill is a very good coach. He has done an amazing job, training these guys and setting them up to win. Like, and they had this like young guy Chirewa who came in and did a very, very good job up top. And they set up in a 3-4-3. That's how they play. So it allows them to do all the work that those are wing backs, if you could call them that, to do the work and provide the overload in the midfield, which sometimes will make you feel like you're literally chasing the ball on end, without any much joy. But I think the game was a very tricky game, especially given that Arsenal um, has had a tough run of games, right? Aston Villa, Bayern, and then if Wolves at the Molineux were going to just put the dagger to finish the whole to finish everything off, that would have just made it would have made for some headlines that all these Arsenal haters really love. But I think in the spirit of the game, Arsenal did what they had to do. Arteta tried as much as possible to set up the team in a way that we could counter what Wolves would do in the midfield, and it worked for a while. Um, I'm gonna say this again: man management, time management, or whatever. No reason why someone like Saka was having a tough time in the game and he was still on. No reason why Gabriel Martinelli wasn't having much joy in the game. Well, he started with Trossard this time, and he wasn't having much joy in the game, even though he got the goal. Gabriel Jesus, even though he's a present sometimes in the box and he runs up and down, does the work. He wasn't having a good game. These are people who played in Bayern on Wednesday. Why are you forcing them? Why are you, it's not working. Make the changes. Jurgen Klopp did the changes and Liverpool was fresh against Fulham. Make the changes. Even if you don't think you have the elements, you gave these guys new contracts, use them. Use them. You can't have someone wearing the number 14 shirt. You gave Edin Ketia the number 14 shirt. That's Titi's shirt, Thierry Henry's shirt. People who wear number 14 are not just flukes. You gave him that shirt for a reason. So use him. Use him. Uh, and I mean, I think the way we play when Declan Rice is CDM is so different from the way we play when Declan Rice is in that left eight position, right? When Partey came in for the last 15 minutes, when Thomas Partey came in, finally, you could see Arsenal's midfield start to look like Arsenal's midfield. Odegaard started having a smile on his face. You could see it. He was literally gleaming. He was bright. His face was so bright because he finally could see someone behind him who would pick up after him if he made a mistake. He can't count on Jorginho. And when Declan Rice is there, he's missing that partner up front. So when they were overloading and the party provided that defensive that CDM defensive cover, and it allowed Rice now to carry the ball, drive forward, and that's how the second goal came. But guess what? We had to wait until the last minute of the game to see that. And if at that time Odegaard got that ball, it was Jesus in that box, Odegaard wouldn't have scored. It would have been 1-0 for Arsenal because Jesus would have taken that ball and tried to dribble, but no. Because the ball came, Havertz just played on to Odegaard and Odegaard put it in the net, on the second attempt. So that's why I say man management and time management is Arteta's downfall. And if he doesn't get a grip of it, it's going to cause him to leave Arsenal without winning a single trophy because it has already cost us a lot. It has already cost us a lot in this season. And you laugh about it, but it's true. It's true. That's why I'm saying these things. As an
Man,
Arsenal fan, sorry,
it's
I can't help it. I can't
how can
help
you
it.
say Arteta will leave Arsenal without winning a single trophy when he has two trophies already with Arsenal?
No, I mean
It's
major trophy. Well,
Arsenal.
I don't count the FA Cup. I mean trophies that we really want now. I mean like
What are you
Champions League or Premier League title.
what
I
are you
mean
talking
FA
about?
Cup. How many FA Cups do we have? We have like 14,
Oh my
13
goodness!
FA Cups. So another one doesn't help us because the next person in the list is like 4 FA Cups or is it 6 FA Cups? So we're like way ahead. We want
But
Premier
the
League.
title, but just retake. Just said you misspoke and take back
No, 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 no. Nah, I'm
without
not
winning
giving
the
them that
title.
one.
The title
For
is the
me,
title.
for me, the FA Cup is not as major as winning the Premier League
We are not talking about major.
or the
You talk
Champions
about
League.
you made a statement without winning the title.
Yeah,
Because
title, Premier League title.
no, no, you should be specific without winning the
Okay,
without
without
winning.
winning the Champions League or Premier League title. Let me put
Okay,
it
you
that way.
guys have never won a Champions League before, right?
No, I mean, I say Arteta will leave without winning one because he keeps doing these things. Like, okay, so think of it this way: when Declan Rice is the CDM, right? Declan Rice is the CDM. Havertz struggles in that left midfield position, that left out eight position, that Xhaka role. Havertz struggles. We know Havertz has more joy when he's playing as a center forward or the false nine. He has more joy. He's more productive. He has scored more goals. He has provided more assists. Yes, he did good work yesterday in the game. I'm not denying that. But I'm just saying, where his best suitable is when he plays as a center forward.
Oh,
Why
okay,
not use him
so,
as a
so
center forward?
so what are you
Why
saying?
keep changing things up?
So what are you saying? Who should have had Ateta started with? Let me ask you the lineup because you're complaining about everything under the sun. How should have Ateta?
No, personally, I would have preferred for well, we won still. I'm okay with the win, but I'm just saying personally, I would have preferred for Partey to be in there.
Hold up,
Declan Rice,
hold up,
the
hold
midfield
up,
three.
hold up, hold up.
Yes,
Partey has injury problems. Okay,
no,
so you're
but
telling
he's
no,
been
no,
back
no, no,
for
no.
how
This
many
is a
months?
fact.
How many
This
weeks
is a
now?
fact. This is a fact. No, we are not talking out of. We are not just talking out of the air. This is a fact. These are facts that we
I understand.
So Partey has and you're talking in a game that was going to be away, a game that's going to be high pace. He's not 100% fit. You want Arteta to risk and starting him.
Against
What you
Wolves.
saying?
It's against Wolves.
What you
Declan
like?
Rice is
Wolves
tired.
actually plays well. They play
No,
very
you could
well.
see it. You could see it. Declan Rice is worn out. Declan Rice has played 44 games
What do you mean by Declan Rice?
this season.
Rice is one out.
You could tell even,
More fit than
even
Partey.
players are worn out. You
No,
can
no, no,
tell.
no. Even at the beginning of the season, when he started as central defensive midfield, because he cannot pass the ball, he's not a good passer of the ball. Arsenal struggles. That we know that when he plays as a
And
central
that's the
defensive
point I'm
midfield.
making. That's the
No,
point I'm
but you are
making.
saying that he should start Partey. Partey is not a hundred
That's
percent fit.
Partey. Or okay, start Jorginho. Are
Jorginho played in Milan. Jorginho played in Milan.
okay? What about El Neni? What about Mo El Neni? Why do you have all these people?
Look at the excuses.
No, no, no.
Oh,
It's
what
not an
more Elneny?
excuse. It's not
Elneny
an
has not played up
excuse.
to 2 games, 3 games this season.
Because, but that's the
So how
thing.
you play him?
As a coach, why are they out frozen so much? So we have a game on Tuesday. Think about it. We have a game on Tuesday against Chelsea. A Chelsea that's a rampant Chelsea, and they can come to the Emirates to spoil our party, right?
No, but let's talk.
No, but no, I know. I'm
Let's
trying to
talk
make a
football,
point.
right?
Do,
Yeah,
do
no,
you
no,
agree?
no. Let's talk football. You cannot be telling me you should start. You are chasing for a title. You start a nanny that has not started a single game this season.
And the
You
point I'm
want him
making
you
is
want to
no,
start
no, no. The point I'm making is it's already late to even start El Neni now. The point I'm making is we shouldn't be at this point where we can't trust El Neni
Then let
to
me ask you a
start.
question: Is Elneny a better central defensive midfielder than
Jorginho maybe.
Rice?
No, he's not. But
Okay, so
the
why
point
start
I'm
him
making is we
on
need
Rice?
rotation. Liverpool did some rotation today and it worked out really well. And they're still in the title run, no? We need rotation. That's
No,
what I'm
what you mean by you just won 2-0. You're talking about we
no,
went
no,
a clean sheet,
no.
you won 2-0. You tell me about rotation?
You do know we could have lost that game easily, right?
Oh my goodness, man.
Because Raya made a save that stopped Wolves from going forward in the game. We could have lost
Ajab,
the game.
Ajab. Okay,
You,
let's move forward, man. Let's talk about this. Let's
I
move
mean,
forward.
I know it's because it's Arsenal. I take it a
Let's
little
move
more
forward.
personal,
Let's
but
move
I
forward.
understand
This
that
guy is watching football. I don't want to be close where this guy is watching football because it looks as if he's sitting on
we
nails,
watch games together. What do you
nails
mean you
and
don't want to be
needles.
close when I'm watching football?
No, I don't want to sit by this guy when he's watching football for real.
The thing is this, right? The way I approach the game, the way I see Arsenal's game is always different from the way I see other games. Because no matter how hard I try to be in the middle for Arsenal's games, I am always going to be a fan in the beginning. I've supported Arsenal since I was like what 11 years old. So it's tough. It's tough
No,
for me
no.
not to be in this
Let me tell you something. Let me,
space
let me
when
tell
it
you
comes to
something.
Arsenal.
Let me
Yeah,
tell you something. That's why up to today, some people don't even know I'm a Barcelona fan because I've decided that I will watch football objectively. Okay, like a
yeah.
team. When I look at Barcelona, okay, they went out. What did I say? I said PSG is gonna beat Barcelona, and I looked at this the facts. I looked at the players. I said PSG was gonna beat Barcelona. Although when the game started, I wanted Barcelona to win. I was frustrated. But when
I
you come
understand
down,
you.
yeah. But when you come
I
down and you get all the facts on the
I
table,
have I have the same opinion. I'm a Chelsea fan. Like I see, I'm putting on Chelsea. But
yeah.
when I'm watching soccer and I tell people Pep is good, they say, Massa, now you be Man City fan or Liverpool. I tell people, even when Tuchel won the Champions League with Chelsea, even before Todd Bowley came in and turned Chelsea into something else, I told people that Chelsea is not yet at that level, the Manchester City and Liverpool level, that they need about 2 or 3 seasons to get to that level to be top of the Premier League. You could win the
Yeah.
Champions League, but to top that Premier League at the way Chelsea was playing, yeah. I told a few people like that, maybe on Chelsea football forums and all that, and they were like, "Guy, must leave that thing. You be Chelsea fan." It's
Of
No,
course.
because when you
I
try,
mean,
yeah,
I
when you
understand.
try to be
You
when you
know,
try to be objective, some people think you're not a Chelsea fan or
you're
you're
not
not
a
an
Chelsea
Arsenal
fan
fan or
or
you're
you're
not,
not.
yeah. So
Exactly. And that's the same thing with Cameroon, right? When I was saying that
yeah,
Robertson has done his time, he should be out and all
mhm.
that. A lot of people say, "Oh, you're not Cameroon, you're a toe hater," and all that. People don't
Yes.
understand that at one point you have to grow. You grow as a fan, you grow as an analyst, you start looking at things differently, and you start
And,
looking at things objectively.
and you want to enjoy the game too. When
Exactly.
you when you attach when you're so sentimental to one club, You don't enjoy the game anymore. You just want that club to win, no matter how they play. Besides
No.
being
But
a no,
Arsenal won,
this
and I'm
yeah,
still
yes.
criticizing.
Besides
It's
being
because
a
I'm
fan,
analyzing.
besides being a fan, football is an entertainment. You want to entertain
Yes,
yourself.
Exactly.
You understand?
Exactly.
yes,
You
Exactly.
want to entertain yourself.
Exactly.
I'm not a Real Madrid fan. I'm not a Barcelona fan. But I won't be watching Barcelona versus
oh yeah,
Real
the game
Madrid.
starts in
They have the El
yeah,
Clasico, and then I'm
the
saying
game
I just
starts in
want
a
one
few.
team to win. I don't want to enjoy football. Football is winning. No matter how they play, the end point is winning. I'm not a fan of any of those teams. Who I don't care who wins the game. I want to enjoy the game. So
Exactly.
Enjoy.
Exactly.
yeah.
Well, let's go ahead. You just talked about the Real Madrid and
Mhm.
Barcelona. It's soon coming up. Let's go ahead and
Yeah.
finish. I know Manchester City did not play today because they had that game with Chelsea. We
Mhm.
saw
Mhm.
lots of misses. A lot of people are criticizing this guy Jackson, right? I know Nicholas Jackson is missing some goals and all that, but I've told people that this guy is going to be a very, very good player. How old is
Yeah.
he? 22
Yeah.
or
No,
23?
but yeah, I'm one of those guys who is saying that Jackson is gonna be he's gonna be explosive. But what he's been doing so far right now, he needs not only to be criticized but even to be insulted. Some of those goals
And benched.
as a striker you don't miss. The problem
You
too
know,
is that he's the only striker Chelsea has at the moment. So if you're benching him, it means you're going to play a false nine. You understand? He's the
Yeah.
only one available right now. They had two jokers. They had two comedians, Jackson and what's the other guy that left for I forgot his name, the Albanian guy that went to
oh,
Fulham. I forgot his name.
yeah, the guy,
I,
Is
I,
it
I,
for
Nesta with the
Southampton.
B or something like
He
that?
was on loan
yes,
for
I forgot his
Southampton.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. Those are the two comedians Chelsea has as a striker.
he's calling them
That's why
comedians.
when you tell Chelsea fans to that, you have to think, you have to rewire your mindset to know that Abramovich's Chelsea is not Todd Bowley's Chelsea.
True.
If you're a Chelsea fan and you have a player who is not a starter for Senegal as your main striker, then you have to know the team is not the same. Stop expecting what was happening under Mourinho and Conte to what is going to be happening with Pochettino. So
True.
sorry.
True. So
Another thing,
I mean,
I'm a Chelsea fan. If we want to start talking about Chelsea, we'll miss the Clasico.
of
Let's
course,
just
now
yeah.
now we have to talk
Oh,
about
you were talking
Manchester
about Armando Broja. Armando Broja.
Yeah,
Broja,
yeah.
that's the name. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Manchester City did not play because they played Chelsea. They beat Chelsea 1-0 in a
hmm
game that so many misses. Then there was a controversy about the penalty.
Controversies,
hmm
refs.
Then we also watched today Manchester United play
Covent,
Coventry.
Coventry.
I
Coventry
don't,
City.
yeah, Coventry City, and then they had to go to penalty kicks where actually
hmm
Manchester United actually won. So
hmm
the FA Cup finals will be Manchester, will be a Manchester
United.
Manchester Derby.
Manchester
derby.
Derby.
It will be
Yeah.
a Manchester derby. But for now, Arsenal is actually leading the EPL. They have a game. Manchester City has a game in hand, right?
In hand, yeah.
Yes.
So Arsenal and Liverpool are tied on points. Arsenal is on top.
Goals.
Goal
Yeah, goal
difference. Yeah.
differential. Manchester City. Before Manchester City even plays, Arsenal would have played Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Arsenal,
Yeah.
yeah,
'Cause
both teams would have
they're
played
first.
already. So that
Yeah.
will be two games in hands. Two games in
hmm
hand. That could be huge, right? That could be huge because
Yeah.
if Arsenal beats Chelsea, right? And
Yeah.
Manchester United City now, the pressure will be on them.
hmm hmm
So that could also be huge. I mean, what do you guys to conclude? What do you guys think about this title race? How it's gonna pan out? Will it go down to the wire?
Of course.
Who are your favorites? Again, we'll just skip
I don't know,
your
man.
favorites after till the sixth game or the fifth game. So, but those are the questions for you guys. Let's start with you, Ajab. We'll conclude with you.
Before I said Liverpool were the favorites, but the reason I'm saying Liverpool is the favorite is because I want Liverpool to win, not actually that they've been convincing enough to win. So I see Man City as the favorite, but I want Liverpool to win.
Okay, thank you for that. Nico, let's go.
I think by May 10th we will know who's going to win the league. After Tottenham has would have played Liverpool and Arsenal, we will know who is going to win the league. And I am all for Arsenal catching up and making it happen. As an Arsenal fan, but I know that City is another type of beast, especially now that they are no longer chasing Champions League. They don't have that distraction. Pep is going to wire these guys up to a point where the next games, if City does not beat every single team by at least a 2 goal difference or 3 goal difference, you almost feel like Pep is going to strangle somebody on his side.
Okay.
So I just feel like City has the goods to make it happen.
Okay. As I said before, my favorites are Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool. I think Liverpool is still going to drop points. They have a series of games coming. They
Yeah,
have they I think they go to London, they go to West Ham. Then
yeah.
after West Ham, who did they play? But
After West Ham, they played Tottenham.
yes, after West Ham,
They,
no,
Tottenham.
is it
Yeah,
after
the
West
very next week.
Ham? Okay, but who did they? Oh, then they
Then
play Aston Villa. They
yeah,
play Aston Villa. So
so they yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna be
Arsenal
tough.
also. Arsenal also, I think, is gonna drop points. Maybe this,
Where yeah,
maybe against
that'll
Chelsea,
be- and then Arsenal and then Man U, right?
maybe against Chelsea. I don't think they're gonna drop points against Manu, but I think
Chelsea, I don't think so because Chelsea played on Saturday and they usually don't play too well when they play midweek or they play. Yeah, so Chelsea has not been they struggle with that, but I think Arsenal definitely could drop points against Man U because at Old Trafford we always struggle, and just the fact that the moment can get away from us. Outside of that, I really don't see Arsenal dropping points anywhere else. But then you never know. Nobody saw
I
Arsenal
think
losing to Aston Villa, so
yeah, I think Arsenal just have by the time they play Manu, they just have that they'll be well rested and all that, and they will be going back to the grand party is back. Jorginho, that central defensive midfield position. I just think that they won't lose again, Manu. But well, anyway, it's just
yeah. But we would have played Tottenham. So this is the Arsenal. Arsenal has Chelsea, Tottenham, I think Bournemouth or Everton, one of those, and then Man U.
okay. Okay,
Yeah,
let's actually watch. Let's actually see what will happen because
it's
Manchester
gonna be
United
tough.
is also trying to fight for the. But I don't think Manchester United is a
Nah,
strong team.
they're
I
no
don't.
longer there.
I
Yeah,
don't
they're no
think.
longer
Yeah, I
there.
don't think. But
All
anyway,
right,
let's
let's
anyway.
quickly look over comments. I think we kind of explored most of them, but I think there's a comment here from someone who's watching us for the first time. Era Chawla. I think City will drop points against Spurs and Liverpool will win the league. That's a pretty good prediction. It's possible. It's possible, but then you never know.
I,
Um,
yeah, for me,
Go ahead.
Liverpool. For me, Liverpool. When I watched Liverpool play today, Liverpool for me is not. They will drop points. Liverpool
Yeah,
is going
I
to
mean,
drop points. Aston Villa,
so
just watch against Aston Villa.
Aston Villa is a tough team. I mean, Unai Emery has done an amazing job with Aston Villa. I know JC commented about Unai Emery here, but the thing is this: Aston Villa generally has this thing about them, the verve, the way they're playing, the confidence is now adding to it, and I think that Aston Villa actually is going to surprise everybody and be fourth this year. Um, they're gonna be in there, the top four.
Because
Aston
one of
Villa
the
is
problems
definitely.
because one of the problems with Liverpool is their defense and the way Aston
Yeah,
Villa is playing. I think the what's his name? He's just gonna smash that defense of Liverpool.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
any more
So,
comments?
anywho, that's it for the comments. We really we explored most of the other comments already as we were talking. On Facebook, I don't see anything, so I think we should be good. On X, either I don't see anything.
Okay, well, it was a good 1 hour, 13 minutes spent. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, and we do appreciate you guys. Again, please share, comment. Let's get this platform better, and let's actually be consistent with the way we do analyze the games on here. Thanks once more, everybody. Go ahead and watch the El Clasico, and next week we'll talk about El Clasico as well. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.